Alright, so let's get started. Here in this opening scene we have young Juliana sitting on the pier in Redcliffe. Not much is going on, but let's go ahead and have a look anyway. So, as you can see, there's already a major problem with her facial expression. Can you guess it? That's right, she doesn't have one. The only thing that's going on right now is her sitting down animation, which is boring. So what we want to do is breathe life into this character, even if it means giving her winking animations, slight head movements, even possible animations to her lips and mouth. So let's go ahead and right click on our characters track and click on add track. Oops, expand it out so you can see what you're doing. And then on that new track that you just added, click on add action, animate face. And then you can drag the sucker wherever you want it to start playing. So say you wanted her to start blinking back here, just move it back there. For the sake of this and what we're doing here, I'm just going to move it here. Alright, so on the right hand side here are the parameters for that track that you just created, and the annotations will appear in 2 seconds. 1, 2. Go ahead and click on this link and it will give you more information on what each one of these things do, and in particularly the parameters that are inputted here. So I'll give you 4 seconds to go ahead and click on that and come back. Oh wow, you're back. Okay, so let's move on. Go ahead and type in child, right click on your new track, and then click on edit. Oops, looks like you're gonna get this all the time, or maybe sometimes. I'm getting it today because I had previous tracks, and even though I saved, it's telling me to save again. So, well, would you look at that? Every time you create a new face action, you need to save it. So that's fine. There we go. Alright, so here we are. Here's the default template for the child. I'm not going to do much movement because the video capturing and Face Effects Studio do not get along well. So I'll leave it right here. Alright, so as you can see, besides the other abnormal visuals, the eyes are not textured. This is one of the biggest problems with the child's template. It's because we need to see textured eyes, we need to see the irises, we need to see the pupils, we need to see where these things are whenever we want to animate the eyeballs, and particularly say whenever your character is looking at somebody, or if you want to even try to do the rolly eyes animation or expression, you won't be able to do it without reference to the eyeballs and their positions. So to get around that, I'm just going to tell you in advance, you want to type in human male or human female as your template, and the animations that are recorded with that template will carry over to your child's character. Those are one of the few things that will stay intact. In the later tutorials I'll explain more in details what type of animations could carry over to your character and which ones will not, or which ones will show minor problems because of the bone structure or the size of the heads or the faces, etc. So in other words, the child's facial animations may not work with certain sets because they were designed with an adult head in mind. So you may have to come back in here in the editor and tweak it out a bit. So let me go ahead and explain the user interface for this program. On the left hand side we have face graph, but first and foremost let me explain which of these things we're going to be focusing on today. Face graph, animations, preview, face graph, no, not face graph, sorry, animation, and workspace. So once again, that's face graph, animations, preview, animation, and workspace. These are the only areas that we're going to be focusing our entire attention to. at least until we figure out what the hell those other things do. Oh, and this too, post to local. Sorry about that. Alright, so let's go back to preview. The face graph. This is basically all the animations that we have to work with, at least for now. We want to go ahead and sort it by the name to make things easier on us. And this is basically how you're going to test each individual animations. You're going to notice some of them don't work. It's my understanding the reason why they don't work is because they're designed for possibly another head template in mind. Like, for example, 6 multi here. Ain't doing jack diddly squat. So I'm thinking that might apply to a different head morph. 6 multi sounds like 6 multi muscles in the face. I don't know. That might be for the werewolf head morph, which I don't know if it exists. But anyways, so go by each one and check them out. Look at that. That one's pretty nice. Oh, by the way, to check them out, you want to drag the slider to the far right. Basically, the further to the right it goes, the more extreme the expression becomes. So squinty eyes, I love it. To reset the slider, as you're going through each one, you'll notice that it just kind of stays there. And if you go back, it still stays there. So to reset the whole expression and to have the slider go back to its default state, just click on the timeline down below. And it automatically puts it all back to normal, see? Alright, so once you've experimented with each and every node, by the way, these are called nodes, start jotting down their names. It's very important because later on we're going to go back and drag them into our workspace. So start making notes of which expression you're considering to use in combination with others. See this? See that right there? These are the types of problems that I was telling you about. Some of these don't work so good on the child, while others work even better. Okay, so these are your nodes. This is the timeline that we're going to be working with down below here. Pretty self-explanatory. However, this isn't. When I first started working with this tool set, I thought that this actually represented the outputted animation. It's not. It's just for previewing. So if you want to see what your animation looks like fast, then you would select it fast. So keep it at normal. If you want to at any point extend the length of your entire facial animation, you would do that by going here, maximum time range. For me, I always try 5 seconds. It's longer than 1. You could always come back here and expand it or contract it, make it shorter or longer. Alright, so let's go into the animation tab really quick. I know you can't really see anything here, but this is the section where you would modify your animation's curves. You'll notice the word curve appears a lot in this tool set. Basically, there will be a curve that appears here. A curve will show up every time you've created an animation. This will be your animation curve. And basically, you'll be able to stretch the points between each animation to either extend the length of certain frames in the animation or contract it. So let's go ahead and go to our workspace. This is, as what it sounds, or as what it says, our workspace environment. This is where you're going to be doing all of your work. So they give you 3 preset templates, I guess, to work from. They're just names, really. Oh, never mind. I forgot. These are all sliders, by the way. We're going to create our own. So let me show you in further detail more about this workspace. So let's go into workspace edit mode. Just left click on the pencil here. you notice it gives us all of the nodes that appeared on the left side here when we first started the game, or sorry, the application. So go ahead and click on node name so we can sort it by the name type, just so it matches these guys over there. And for the sake of organization, let's rename our workspace, because workspace 1 ain't gonna cut it. So let's do blinking. Oops. Alright, so in order to create our sliders, we're going to be working with these nodes here on the right side. But before we do that, let me continue explaining more in detail about the preview window that has to show up here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a viewport. We're going to click on default. Or actually, I forgot, you got to create a camera. So click on preview, and I think it's this one. Create new camera. Yep, there it is. You can name it whatever you want. And just keep these settings the way they are, and click on create. So now when we go to the workspace and we add a viewport, yay, our new camera will show up. And disregard the distortion, don't worry about that. There it is. But that looks better, doesn't it? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave it like that, because I'm going to test something out. Oops. Wow. I completely failed at that. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, alright. So there you go. To go back into the workspace edit mode, just click on the pencil again. So I know this is going to be a little discomforting to see her head squashed like this, but the moment you leave your what is this called? Workspace edit mode, it goes back to normal. But we're going to be working with this mode, so that just about wraps it up with the user interface tutorial. In the next one, we're going to continue on with creating a blinking animation and possibly other facial animations, and then we're going to also show you how to export them out to your cutscene and take it from there. Thank you very much.